America, how we doing today? We're out here at the shop and it's a little bit warm, a little on the warm side today. Yeah, it's like 95 and humid, but there's a pretty good breeze today. So I got the camera kind of around the corner here where you're not hitting too much wind. So hopefully that won't affect the audio too much. Anyway, as promised, last week I did a video about tires and recaps and all that, and as promised, I've got another video about tires, trying to figure out what to do about my tires. And I think I made a pretty good argument for recaps in this situation. Now, I've never been a recap guy, never did like recaps, because they don't hold up very well with heavy loads and stuff like that. But being that I'm hauling these lighter loads and everything, and that I have 8 Michelin virgin casings to use that have been in, they're in good shape. They're not that old, they're only about 3 years old. So I thought that would be a pretty good argument for recaps. But the comments, oh my God, probably about 80% comments are, don't do recaps. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do recaps, okay? After I made that video, now, remember, I made that video about a week before you guys saw it, okay? So it's about 2 weeks ago I made that video, and since then I found out that Choice now, they didn't before, but nowadays they are a member of a nationwide, what they call a national account for tires. And what they've done is they've piggybacked on to CR England. So CR England's owner-operator division, they piggybacked on with that, and I think that's where they get they're piggybacked on with their fuel discount too. So a small company like Choice is not going to get a real big discount, but if they piggyback on with a big carrier, they can get a pretty good discount. All right, so I'm not going to do recaps. So what am I going to do? I was just going to put regular tires, just new virgin tires on, and probably just bite the bullet. Well, now I found out that they got that national account and I can get a really good discount on a lot of these tires. So I called them the other day and talked to them about it, and they said you can get Bridgestone, let's see, well, I can't remember all the brands, but anyway, Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Continentals, Hancooks, and then some other brand I can't remember. It was a cheap brand. I can't remember the name of them. But anyway, they started throwing the prices out, and believe it or not, the best price is on the Continentals, and that's the best tire, right? In my opinion, best tire. I mean, they're really, really good, high quality tires. But for me to just go out and buy them straight out, they're like 700 bucks. So, 700-ish, 750, somewhere in that range. They're expensive tires. And they're really good. I really like Continentals because when I used to run the spread axle, I really like the Continentals for the spread axle tires. And, but anyway, so the best price, believe it or not, is the Continentals. They get the biggest discount. So all of them are in the 400 to 450 range, 420, 435, right in through there. And I think the Continentals were like 425, and they were even cheaper than the Hancooks, which are a lower tier, of tire. So the Hancooks were like 440 a piece, and the Continentals were like 420 or 425 or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but anyway. So I think that's what I'm going to do is go out and get those Continentals. But the tires that are on it still aren't completely worn off, except for one. I got one tire that's wearing faster than the rest of them, ever so slightly, but wearing faster. So I got 7 tires that are all at about 430 seconds right now, pretty much all the way around. And I've got one tire that it's probably a little out of round, because half of the tire is worn down more than the other half. The 360 degree, about 180 degree of it is a lot more worn, and it's down into the wear bars, which is 230 seconds. And that's the one I'm concerned with. If I get pulled over and get a DOT check, that's the one they're going to say, hey, no, that one's no good. The rest of them are fine. And I hate to take the rest of them off until they're completely worn out. So I got to thinking, about the recaps and everything. Well, I thought, no, I better not do that. And there's an old process that hardly anybody does anymore. It's called tire regrooving, okay? And they have the tires on the side will have a brand on there. It'll say regroovable tires. In other words, once they get down to those wear nubs, you know, at the 2/32 level, you can get a tire regrooving tool, which is basically an iron. It's almost like a soldering iron, but it has a little blade in there, and it kind of, it gets hot, and you can cut the rubber with it. So I started looking around, where can I get one of those, you know, and I don't know any tire companies that do it. Most tire companies don't want to bother doing it. For one, you don't get that much more use out of the tire, and for the cost, hardly anybody does it. But if you buy your own iron and do it yourself, it's pretty cheap. So I got to look around, where can I get an iron? And I thought, well, just curious, or for the, you know, let's try looking on Amazon. And sure enough, there were several different tire regrooving tools on Amazon, and I looked around, and they ranged from $90 all the way up to $400, you know. And the one that was $90, I was just about ready to buy that, and then I was looking around a little more the next day and found there's the same one, but it has a few more attachments, and it was $120. So it's got more blades, and it's got a different, you know, a couple different tips and everything like that. So with that, let me walk over and show it to you. All right, this is the box it came in, and it came from Amazon. Now, it actually came from Speedway Motors. Here's a sticker they have with it. Speedway Motors, okay, that's the company that sells them or whatever. Amazon doesn't actually sell them. They're affiliated with Amazon, you know. So anyway, it had to come from them. It took 2 to 3 days, I think, to get it. Anyway, here it is. It's an iron. It's almost like a soldering iron. You got a handle and a plug. You plug into the 110, and the tips. Okay, it's got 2 different tips. This particular model I bought has 2 different tips. This is the normal tip that it comes with, and then here's the wider tip that it comes with. And I want to use the wider tip. And what they use it for, the bigger tip accommodates the bigger blade. Okay. So here's one of the cutting blades, and you put it in on the bottom here, and then on the narrower tip, you can put in these narrower blades. I haven't opened these up. As you can see, they're a much narrower blade, okay, for making a narrower channel or a groove in the tire. So anyway, I'm going to use the wider blade. Now I got to do some measuring and everything, and I got all tarred up and gooey with my hands. As you can see, I got all kinds of goo on there. Tire, melted tire. I got a couple old Casey, you know, old blowed out tires from years and years ago sitting back here by the container. And I got one up here, and I was going to cut it in half and get a cross section of it so I could show you how deep the rubber was, where the steel cords quit, and then there's rubber, and then there's the tread, okay? And I was going to cut that off, and I didn't have too good a luck with it. I used a angle grinder at first, and that didn't work. It just gummed everything up and got me all gooey. And then I tried a reciprocating saw, like a Sawzall, and I tried a couple different blades, and that didn't work. And I just finally gave up. I even took a wood saw, you know, a skill saw out there and tried that, and that didn't work. So cutting tires is not easy. So anyway, I was going to get a cross section so I could show that to you, and oh well. My plans were foiled. So anyway, I thought it was more work than it was worth, I guess is what it was. I could have eventually cut through it, but it wasn't worth the time and effort. So anyway, what I'm going to do is go over here and practice on this old crap tire. It's a blowed out tire, wasn't any good anyway. I'm going to practice on it a little bit and see how well it works. And if it does work good, I'm going to try it on the tractor tires. Okay, we got a couple test cuts made. First I set it at about 8/32, okay, which is 1/4 inch. And this is the first cut, and it went a little too deep. It went down into the cords down here, so that's a little bit too deep. So I went and reset it, and it's probably about 6/32 there. And I peeled that right out of there, and that looks about right, I think. So I think I'm going to set it about that because those tires have a little bit more tread. This one here is all the way down to almost nothing. So I think 6/32 will get down past the 2/32 that's already there, and then 4/32 on down deeper into the tire, but without going all the way to the cords, hopefully. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. Let me get you set over there, angle you down a little bit. and a chunk of rubber I don't need. All right, so we're gonna turn this camera on, and we're gonna do a little testing right here. As you can see with this tire right here, there's that wear bar, as you can see it. And I took an awl and I dug down in there, and it goes about, not quite a ½ inch. I'd say, I don't know, I think I've got it set right, okay, put it that way. So hopefully this will work. Let's try it out. I'm gonna set the camera back just a little bit. I'm gonna do this section right in here. Now you see how these zigzag down through here? I think I'm just gonna go from here right up to here, and then cut over, and then here up, straight up into here, okay? And do that little bitty jump right there and there, but just straddle all these little, make that a straight line, okay? So here we go. Wish me luck. So we're cutting down into it. Cut right down to that. All right, and then turn. And turn again and go. Turn. I'm not pushing terribly hard. I mean, there's resistance and everything, but it's cutting pretty easy. Like a hot knife through butter. Okay, we'll come back out of that right there. Set the iron off to the side so it don't fall. Let's peel that up and see what we got. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, so that's how thick she got. That's how much rubber I took out. So I kind of like that. Let's do another one right here. Start from the beginning. Yeah, right there, right about right there. You know, I got thinking, if this really messes up and it doesn't work like I hope, I can always just take them off, put those new tires on that I plan on. I'm trying to get figure I might as well try to get another couple months worth of rubber or use out of these tires, see what happens. So, set that off to the side again. Peel this up. Here we go. It's looking pretty good, I think. Looking pretty happy with that. All right, now what I'm gonna do is, these right here I'm gonna do this way. And these right here, I'm not gonna cut. I'm gonna cut at an angle, cut up like this, okay? So let me go get a marker. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is from these lugs here, these outer lugs, I'm gonna cut an angle across here, okay? And I don't know what angle, probably about like, I don't know, about a 45. From here to here is 90, about 45-degree angle right across here, okay, and about right here. And the reason I'm gonna do that is by the time those get around to the bottom of the tire on the pavement, this will be escape lugs for the water. Okay, so water can go in here and then escape out these sides. And I don't think I'm going to do anything with this here because that's pretty deep rubber already. You know, so you see what I'm saying? So I'm going to cut here, here, and then angles. Okay, so anyway, I don't know. You tell me if I'm doing right or wrong, but anyway, I'm going to cut these out and see how well it does on this tire. This is that one tire that's worn more than the rest of them. And let me angle you up a little bit. There we go. This it'll be the left front inside tire on the driver's side. Left would be the driver's side, front axle, inside tire. So it'll be LFR, or LFI. LFI and LFO, inside and outside. Okay, that's how they, you know, whenever you go into a shop and say, hey, I got a tire, and they say, which one? You say, well, whether it's tractor or trailer, you say it's the tractor LFI. Left front, left front axle inside tire. The other side would be right front inside tire. Get the idea. So anyway, that's how you would, that's trucker talk in a tire shop, or tire talk in a tire shop. Anyway, whatever. Let me get to cutting on these and see how it works out. I think I'm gonna like this, at least on this one tire, and that will make this tire nice and legal again, and the rest of these will catch up. And by the time I wear these down, I'm gonna take this iron with me on the road, and if I ever need to re-groove a tire, I can just re-groove it real quick and make it last a little bit longer and get it to where I can get a few more miles out of them. You know, it's all about trying to save those, get your money's worth out of tires. That way, I don't have to put new tires on in the middle of summer when it's really, really hot. I can put them on in the fall and let them acclimate or something, whatever you want to call it. So some of the other things I was going to touch on real quick. Well, let me get you over here, get a little better light on you, or for me. One of the other things I was going to touch on these tires, on the recaps. Recap tires don't necessarily just blow out on their own. I don't think they blow out any more than, you know, virgin casing tires if the air pressures are kept up, okay? So if you keep the air pressure in your tires, they last a lot longer, they wear smoother. And the problem is when, let's say you have low air pressure in this inside tire, and this outside tire is carrying all the weight, that sidewall is sitting there, it's constantly flexing. Every rotation, it's flexing. And it's no different than taking a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger, and bending it over and over and over and over, and it finally snaps, okay? So that's what happens. The inside tire goes low, the outside tire carries all the weight, or more weight, and it takes more stress, and it gets overheated, and it blows out. Then you have the inside tire that is either low on pressure or flat or whatever. Now you're on the ground. So another thing is different comments on the recaps is when they build these tires from the factory, they build them in layers, okay? And it's soft, unvulcanized rubber, okay? It's soft rubber. They layer it all together. They put the steel cords in there, and they put the bead rim, the bead cord in the what am I biting me here? So anyway, they'll sit there and they build the tire, okay? And you can look on other videos to learn how they do that. The thing is, once it's all completely built, then they put it in an oven and heat it up and cook it, and it melts all together, okay? It's called vulcanizing. So they vulcanize the tire and melt it all together. Now, once you put it on the truck, and it goes through several heat cycles over years and years of hot summers and colds and hots and colds, and every time you drive it, they get hot and cold. They get hard. The rubber gets pretty tough and hard. And what happens is when you grind what's left of these tires on this tread right here, when you grind the rest of that off and you put a recap on it, you've got a vulcanized hardened rubber, and you have virgin soft rubber put on top of it, okay? And then they put it in an oven and they cook it all down and melt it all together, okay? The problem is the hard vulcanized rubber doesn't want to adhere as well on a recap as it does the original very first time you did it, okay? So that's why recaps always tend to have the bad rap that they have. Oh, one other thing. The reason I decided not to go with recaps too is my tire shop up there north side of Fort Worth. When I was in there getting steer tires about a month ago, the guys that were mounting the tires, he said, "Oh, your tires are about worn out." I'm like, yeah, they're getting low. He says, "Yeah, you just put some recaps on them. These are good tires, put recaps on." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's an idea." And that's what kind of got me thinking about that. And he just mentioned, you know, like $100 to recap. Okay, well, he's the guy out in the shop. He doesn't know the prices. I asked the salesman inside the shop, in the office, I called him here last week and asked him, you know, prices. And he goes, "Well, for trailer recaps, you know, if you're gonna take these tires and put trailer tread recaps on it, a little over $100, $120, something like that. But if you're gonna put the drive, the lug tread, like this tread here, this lug tread. If you're going to put that kind of tread on it, it's going to be closer to $250 with taxes and all that. You know, that's on my own casings. That's not just buying a recap, you know, that they've done. That's using my caps, and they're going to charge me $250 to put that inch of layer, you know, 3/4 inch of layer of rubber on it. And I thought, you know, if I'm going to spend $250, I might as well put new tires on. And I've even thought of a friend of mine, Mike, Big Mike Trucking. He's the guy I did the interview with here a while back. He put some tires on, and he found some virgin brand new tires for like less than $200. I think he said he spent $1950 to put new tires on. I'm like, wow, $1950. Now I don't know if he got casing prices, because he probably has 22.5 inch rims. He probably got a better price, a little bit of money off for his tires that he had. I don't know. I didn't get into that deep of a discussion with him. But he said for $1950, he got 8 brand new tires, and they were, I can't remember the brand. I'll put it here on the screen. But it was a company, he said, I think they're from India. And I'm like, really? So I looked them up on the internet, and they're not from India, they're from Nigeria. Now I've heard of American tires, like your Goodyears and your Bridgestones and Michelins and all that. And I've heard of Japanese tires like Toyo and Yokohamas and all that. And I've heard of Chinese tires like your Double Coins and whatnot. I've never heard of this brand, and I never knew that tires were made in Nigeria. So I don't know if they make them in Nigeria, but that's the mother company. The company that owns it is from Nigeria. So anyway, just information, I guess. All right, so that's why I decided to go with brand new tires. I'm going to get a really good discount price on some, I'll probably go with the Continentals, but I'll see if I can't get a little bit more wear out of these tires first, get them all the way down to where they're done, then put some new casings on. And hopefully by regrooving these, I'll be able to get maybe through the rest of the summer and get into fall before I have to put those new tires on. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. If I was a huge company and had thousands of trucks and everything, I'd probably put recaps on the trailers. But on the tractors, for the price, $250 for recaps, you might as well go with, you know, virgin tires. And I probably could get some other tires instead of those Continentals for $420 or $425 or whatever. I could probably get some for, you know, $250 or something like that. So if you're going to spend $250 on a tire, I'd rather have if I had to choose between $250 recaps or $250 Chinese tires, I'd probably go with the Chinese tires because they're brand new casing, they're brand new tires. That said, I never did like the Chinese tires, and I never really liked the recaps myself either. So anyway, all right, that's enough of that. Let me get to work on these, and I'll give you a picture of them when it's done. Okay, ciao.